You know, for those of us watching late night, which was a lot of the country, James, we saw you break out the champagne bottle that you weren't ready to pop last night. It's not time to pop it yet. But you could do a fireball shot or a shot of Jack here for at least one state at a time. I want to put back on the screen for you being the guru, James. I want to put back up for a little more time here. Biden outperforming Clinton in these Wisconsin 4 largest counties, Dane, Rock, Greene, Milwaukee. On substance, James, what do you think Biden, the Democrats, offered voters in those counties that broke through this time with, again, NBC calling this the apparent winner?
Well, I mean, I think, first of all, Trump offered him a lot. He was a big assist. He was not the incumbent. He was incumbent. I think people all across the country saw that. I want to add one more thing. We're not just going to win Pennsylvania. We're going to win Pennsylvania by like 150,000 votes. The second point I want to make is it is not a given that we're not going to control the United States Senate. It is a very good chance that there's a runoff in the Purdue-Osterhoff race. And if somebody looks at the number of absentee ballots that are out in Alaska yet to be counted, and they do some basic math, they'll see that we have a shot at the Alaska Senate seat. Joe Biden is going to be the next president of the United States. He's going to carry Pennsylvania. He has got a reasonable chance. I don't know if it's 50-50. He has a reasonable chance to carry Georgia. There are about 200,000 absentees left to count. Purdue, Trump has a 7,000 lead. Purdue has a 47,000 vote lead. All right. So we may very well be going to post with 2 Senate races in Georgia. And Alaska is the fat lady ain't sung yet. Okay,
well, you know, James,
not at all. Not at all.
James, you know the saying "happy warrior." You almost sound like an angry winner.
I'm not. No, I'm ready to keep fighting. This game is not over.
No, it's not by a long shot. Let me ask you this, James, because we have the new statement from Joe Biden, which some folks coming home may not have heard yet. I want to play a little more of it because, as you know, James, in politics, there's what's true and there's what's known. And what was known when people went to bed last night may be very different than what's true. And I'm just going to tell you exactly what Joe Biden said that is true, even though we're not calling anything. He talked about how he and Senator Harris are winning more votes than anyone in the history of elections. Take a listen.
Senator Harris and I are on track to win more votes than any ticket in the history of this country that ever won the presidency and vice presidency. Over 70 million votes. I'm very proud of our campaign. Only 3 presidential campaigns in the past have defeated an incumbent president. When it's finished, God willing, we'll be the 4th.
James, what's true and what's known, here we are on this election evening after last night. I give you the mic to address the nation.
What is true is Joe Biden will be the next president of the United States. Paraphrase David Plouffe, Trump reminds me of a flea-bitten dog baying at the moon. All right? He got beat. He got beat in Pennsylvania. He got beat in Michigan. He got beat in Wisconsin. He got beat in Nevada. He got beat in Arizona. And he may get beat in Georgia. All right? And last night, I told all these Democrats, just go ahead and put the razor blades and the Ambien back in the medicine cabinet. We're going to be fine. I said we would know by 10 o'clock. We actually knew by midnight last night. And we're going to win. Pennsylvania is not going to be particularly close. It's not going to be particularly close. We're going to win, I think, by 150,000 votes. It's not me thinking that. That's people that really go down to granular counting and percentages and things that are a little bit out of my liberal arts background, but they know what they're talking about. And we still have a real shot in Georgia, and we still have a real shot at the Alaska Senate seat. If you ask me the percentages, I can't tell you, but until somebody, finishes this off, I'm still fighting. I'm not hanging anything up right now. Not at all.
I feel you. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.